Volunteers of America Utah is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to provide a bridge to self-reliance and health for vulnerable individuals and populations who struggle with homelessness, addiction, and mental illness along the Wasatch Front. Our community really needed lately to expand access to treatment services. And as part of what we were seeing with homelessness and addiction, the community looked to us and said, is there anything you can do to help provide more access to treatment? Volunteers of America is an organization who can do the tough service interventions that are really required for people with some of the most complex needs.
Substance use is something that we see here locally in our community. One of the pieces that we know about working with vulnerable populations is that many of them may be experiencing extreme mental illness, homelessness, or addiction. And oftentimes that can come as a byproduct of other things that they've experienced in their lives. Thankfully, we are so lucky that we have our detox facility and also our Women's and Children's Center, where we can go and offer them supportive services, not only to deal with their mental illness or their homelessness, but also with their substance use. They receive all of those services while being in a safe place to detox.
We can take people who are intoxicated and do an emergency admission of that individual, learn enough about them to keep them safe during that process. Most programs in the community cannot take people who are under the influence of drugs and alcohol to that degree.
The tricky part about substance use is that it can affect anyone. It doesn't matter what race you are, what background you come from, what your financial status is. It's something that everyone ultimately could face at some point in their lifetime. And that's why it's so important that we have services in place, not only for those who might be experiencing homelessness, but for anyone out in the community who is struggling with substance use.
They'll come to the detox center, they'll get an assessment and referral into treatment. Then they'll go to that treatment, and then that just begins their journey to self-reliance, to a life of sobriety. Working at detox, I learned that a smile and looking someone in the eye and giving respect and being encouraging, but also being understanding when they would leave and being welcoming when they came back went a long way to them trusting us and knowing that we are there for them. Substance use disorder affects the community by breaking down everything that's good about human character. We care for people who often are not cared for by others, people who suffer from substance abuse. They're homeless, they're hurting, and we give them a chance to change that, to recreate their lives. The detox center often ends up being that first step towards, changing their lives.
Volunteers of America Utah is always looking at where are the gaps in our community and what services are we still in need of for those who are most vulnerable. And one thing that was clear is that we needed to reopen our Center for Women and Children to be able to assist women who are experiencing homelessness and substance use so that they had a safe place to go to detox off of whatever substance they may be using and stay with their children.
The Center for Women and Children is a detoxification center primarily. So people who come to the center will be people who have used alcohol and drugs in the last 72 hours. So they're under the influence still of that drug and typically are having difficulty stopping on their own.
Women's ability to keep their children with them when they're going through detox and treatment is a really important evidence-based part of their recovery process. It makes their healing more effective so they can have their children with them from the beginning when they begin their detox process and all the way through their treatment.
This offers an opportunity for them to grow and come together as a family unit and then be able to enter into that journey of self-sufficiency together.
I was lost, I was broken, I was confused. I didn't have any direction in my life. I called around and I was trying to find somewhere I could go, and I couldn't find anywhere. I called so many 800 numbers in the phone book, and the only place that I could find was Volunteers of America without health insurance. They met me where I was at with compassion without judgment and just allowed me to go through what I needed to and supported me in a positive way so that I could go through it.
I became homeless, hopeless, not the person that I was made to be. I was making choices and doing things that were dangerous and hurtful to others and myself. And that was a daily thing for me. That was how I survived. And it was really important for me to have a safe place to go to detox. If I could have done it on my own, I would have been doing it years ago. I think in the beginning of detox, there still feels like there's this weight on you that you're gonna have to climb so far out of this hole. And though you have support and you're doing it, there's still this hopeless feeling. And to go across the street and work in the garden, a lot of us don't make it. There's a rock pathway, and there's names of people in their age that have passed, that came through the program but didn't make it. I got to see stuff grow and realizing that I had planted that seed and that thing was growing because I had been weeding and watering and growing this thing as I'm growing my recovery. They were very kind and just taught me gently what it looks like to be a mom and to be sober and to do it one moment at a time sometimes.
Going to Volunteers of America Center for Women and Children opened up the opportunity for me to have supervised visits with my 2 children. I found hope, and I wanted them to feel that hope too. It truly is because of Volunteers of America, the Center for Women and Children, hands down. I don't know what my life would be like if I didn't walk in those doors. And today, I have the best relationship with my kids. I'm truly a very lucky woman.
We are always striving to enhance the services that we're providing and to be able to reach more clients each and every year.
More programs we have, the more staff we end up hiring, ultimately goes to the number of individuals we're able to serve, the number of people who we can help stabilize and move toward a healthier way of living and self-reliance.
I think through VOA, volunteering, their programs, and just showing up that we don't have to do it alone ever again. We don't have to be alone. And to me, that's a win.
It showed me that I was worthy of change and that I could change. It showed me that I could have my kids, that I could be safe, that I could empower myself, and that I could feel like myself again. Volunteers of America simply gave me my life back and believed in me when I did not believe in myself.